A seemingly normal day in the city before the chaos unfolds. Blood stains the street blocked off with no entry signs. A brutal scene is hinted at. A city street is littered with wrecked cars and the dead. A woman exhausted asks how much farther they have to go. A man walks away while a woman demands water. A man ignores a plea for water conservation. A woman tells a man to find water himself. The woman looks shocked and confused. Girl confronts guy, escalating tension. Guy stares back, silent and uneasy. Tense standoff in the city as a man confronts a woman demanding answers. The woman's eyes widen in shock and fear. A bead of sweat trickles down her cheek. Furious woman confronts a man, threatening him. A man is insulted and called pathetic. A man smirks, unconcerned amidst chaos. A woman angrily confronts a man, ignoring the zombie apocalypse. A man harshly rejects a woman, warning her about approaching infected people. The woman is shocked and confused by his sudden rejection. A woman watches a man, clearly disturbed by his sudden change in demeanor. The man walks away, alone, his back to the viewer, up a flight of stairs. A woman angrily rejects a man's offer of help, sending him away. A man walks away from a woman, ignoring her taunts as he leaves her behind. Furious woman walks away after a failed attack, muttering about a loser. She's disgusted and certain her enemy is weak and won't survive. A woman stares down a street, uncertain. She witnesses a wrecked car and no entry sign, clearly shocked. Road blocked, escape route cut off. A woman reacts to something unseen, fear evident. A quiet suburban street, nothing seems amiss. A woman stares down, fear etched on her face, as if sensing danger. A woman investigates wrecked cars in a city street, noticing a strange smell. Close up on a crushed car, hinting at the chaos and destruction. She's terrified, sweat dripping, and something bad's about to happen. A body lies in a pool of blood. Someone's already fallen victim. She's terrified, sweat dripping, the fight's about to begin. She's cornered, zombies closing in, desperate escape. A woman stands alone in a deserted street, a wrecked car behind her. A man walks away, a backpack on his shoulders, down a debris-strewn street. A man, alone, makes a solemn promise. A woman urgently asks a man for help. A tense standoff. She's giving orders. He's reluctantly agreeing to go to Gangnam. He looks determined, maybe a little scared, but he's heading to Gangnam. A woman demands an apology. A woman confronts a man, threatening him to crawl. Close up on a woman's fearful face, Han Yena, seemingly distraught, is introduced. He's a nobody, always overlooked. Seoul falls to a zombie outbreak. Two strangers meet in a disaster-stricken city. They're both terrified by something unseen. Blood-soaked zombies chase a woman through a city street. A man and a woman sprint, dodging a pursuing zombie horde. A sprawling city, silent and eerily empty, awaits the undead horde. Sunlight streams into a dark basement, a desperate refuge from the chaos above. A gamer plays a zombie game, oblivious to the real-world horror to come. He's asleep, unaware that the apocalypse has begun outside his window. 7:05 a.m., alarm clock goes off. He fell asleep playing games. A gamer contemplates quitting school amidst a zombie-themed video game. He stands barefoot in his apartment, seemingly preparing for something. Mom's note, eat well, go to school. He's alone, a worried look on his face. A student calmly exits a school building, unaware of the impending horror. He walks down a city street, oblivious to the danger lurking just around the corner. Palace 104, a seemingly normal apartment building. A young man looks worried, his life about to change. A lone survivor walks into a city, unaware of the horrors that await. A school, seemingly peaceful, but danger lurks. A student is knocked down hard, screaming in pain. Two men assess an injured man while another watches, commenting on a recent attack. He heard something shocking. A young man reacts with disbelief and anger. He hears something unsettling in the hallway. A girl confronts bullies. A student witnesses schoolyard bullying. Two boys deny bullying, calling it playful teasing. A man smirks, ignoring taunts. A woman talks, seemingly plotting something. Rich girl lives in a luxury apartment building. Parents are high-powered professionals. She's a top student preparing to study abroad and incredibly attractive. A confident woman ignores a shivering woman while onlookers watch. The confident woman sneers, showing disdain for the poor. Two students walk down a city street, unaware of the impending horror. A nervous student tries to talk to a girl, oblivious to the approaching doom. A man notices something. A woman demands space. He realizes something terrifying for the first time. He sweats, remembering a girl's pleasant scent. A boy questions his feelings for a girl in class amidst a zombie outbreak. He contemplates his unrequited feelings as the apocalypse rages outside. A city building is seen through a classroom window, foreshadowing doom. A man clenches his fist, showing frustration and inner turmoil. A student feels shame and humiliation. A school becomes a battleground. Three guys chat, oblivious to the zombie apocalypse brewing. A student regrets missing a zombie-themed game event. Two high school students discuss a concert, ignoring the rising threat. A third student sits alone, seemingly envious of his classmates. Min-jun's miserable life takes a terrifying turn. Surrounded, Min-jun looks terrified as two figures approach him. A guy's trying to get concert tickets, major FOMO vibes. He's obsessed with a K-pop star's online video. A man laughs maniacally while taking a selfie. Several men react with shock and disbelief to something they've just heard. Two guys look strangely lifeless. A man walks down the street, looking uneasy. Room 2-3, the calm before the storm. Students study, unaware of the impending chaos. Bored student wishes school would end. Student confidently assesses a classmate's fighting skills. Two men discuss a mysterious escapee from North Korea. A man in a school uniform stands, looking concerned. He's heard something that's made him furious. This guy's about to get into a serious fight. A heated confrontation erupts. One man grabs another's jacket. A man's jacket is ripped violently. Tense stare. Something's about to go down. A confrontation escalates. Someone needs to apologize. Tense standoff. A warning is given. Survival hangs in the balance. He ignores the warning, walking into a hallway filled with danger. He's trapped, terrified and alone. Another day of school, another boring class. Or is it? A seemingly normal school building under a bright sunny sky. A student announces quitting school, envisioning a shortcut to happiness. A student vows to skip school tomorrow. He sees something terrifying. Trapped. A group of survivors faces an unknown threat in a hallway. He's using the zombie outbreak to his advantage. A man ignores instructions and walks away from a bus stop. A young man with glasses declares he'll quit school. A man's eyes widen with furious regret. A man walks alone, seemingly ignoring someone calling to him. A man ignores his friends, walking away during a zombie outbreak. A deserted city street shows the aftermath of a zombie attack. A man collapses, groaning in pain, possibly infected. A man holds a brick, ready to strike a downed foe. Three survivors huddle together, clearly exhausted and fearing the worst. A desperate man begs to be killed, overwhelmed by the apocalypse. A wounded survivor begs for death. A man shows guilt and maybe a little regret. Furious, he kicks a zombie, screaming bloody murder. A man threatens someone, warning them about the consequences of death. A man makes a chilling threat. A pair of glasses lies on blood-splattered ground. A quiet Korean city street, bathed in morning sunlight, hides a deadly secret. A lone man climbs the stairs, unaware of the approaching horror. A man walks away, carrying a backpack, looking defeated. He descends a staircase. The sound effect suggests a heavy step. A young man considers suicide, his backpack slung low, despair etched on his face. He eyes a tall building, contemplating a fatal fall from a great height. A young man walks away, defeated, seemingly giving up on life. He's approached suddenly, a tense moment before something happens. A girl confronts a suspicious man outside an apartment building. The girl accuses the man of sneaking into her apartment complex. Tense confrontation. A student is accused of being a thief. He agrees, clenching his fist, foreshadowing trouble. A girl confronts a bruised boy, demanding answers. The boy's face shows the brutal results of a recent attack. A woman confronts a man, furious at his inaction against bullies. A man's bruised face shows the results of a violent attack. A man and woman walk away from each other, tension rising. A woman ignores a man calling out to her, clearly upset. A woman groans, disgusted. A man walks away, looking determined. He's home, but the calm before the storm is about to break. He initiates a deadly game. The stakes are life or death. A wounded man questions his resolve amidst a zombie outbreak. A young woman's serious expression hints at a grim situation. A young man quits school and sits alone at his computer. A friend calls him to join them, but he's engrossed in a video game. Lights flicker in a dark alleyway. A scream echoes as something crashes against a window. A hand frantically types on a keyboard. A gamer sees 3 zombies outside his window, then clears them. A gamer scrambles, realizing he needs to leave immediately. His friend also needs to escape, the situation escalating fast. A clock shows it's 10 o'clock. A gamer is shocked by breaking news of total chaos. A gamer, bloody and bruised, hears something terrifying. He removes his headset, completely confused and worried. He's home alone and something's wrong. A terrifying figure is at the door. A door is being barricaded from the inside. A terrified young man with scratches on his face looks shocked. He's watching through the peephole, face bruised and scared. It's his upstairs neighbor, injured and barely alive. Injured man hears a noise at his door, confused. A man discovers a bloody mess on the stairs. Injured man with glasses looks up, sweat dripping. A hand reaches for a doorknob. He cautiously opens the door to a messy apartment, facing an unknown threat. A terrified eye, scratched and bleeding, witnesses the horror. A man is brutally attacked, blood splattering everywhere. A bloody, horrifying aftermath leaves questions unanswered. He's hurt, someone's worried, should they call emergency services? He's infected, screaming, things are about to get brutal. A desperate struggle ensues as one man fights off a bloody attacker. A terrifying close-up reveals the infected attacker's enraged face. Terrified screams erupt as a man violently attacks someone. Close-up on a shocked, bleeding eye, pure panic. A brutal kick sends a zombie sprawling, blood splattering. A man in a graphic tee delivers a devastating drop kick, crushing a zombie. A hand frantically unlocks a door. A man in a graphic tee pants heavily, surrounded by blood. Blood stains the floor as someone escapes a horrifying scene. A man, breathless and terrified, witnesses something unspeakable. He's calling for help, but it's too late. The call's gone wrong. What's happening? He's trying to call for help, but his phone's dead. Emergency alerts flood his phone, confirming a citywide zombie attack. He checks his phone, then hears something terrifying. A terrified man watches from behind a window. Zombies attack. Desperate screams fill the street as blood splatters. A man, horribly wounded, lunges at a woman. Chaos reigns. A man checks his phone, worried about his mom. He anxiously calls, concerned she's late. A desperate call for help goes unanswered. He's injured, alone, and can't reach anyone. Bloodstains mark a grim alleyway, a silent testament to recent violence. The same alleyway, the scene unchanged. The threat lingers. A seemingly normal room hides a terrifying secret under the covers. Something is moving under the sheet, and it's not human. A hand frantically tries to access the internet on a phone. The internet is down, and the connection cannot be established. Injured man hides under a blanket, watching TV with the remote. News report reveals a series of brutal murders across the country. Breaking news reports random killings in the city. The government calls it terrorism. A terrified man sweats, urged to stay inside and avoid contact with the outside world. Bizen is under attack. A violent outbreak erupts in the city streets. A bloody struggle. One person collapses, covered in blood. A terrified man witnesses the chaos unfolding in his city. A man hides in his apartment, fearing a zombie outbreak. A survivor's terrified face reflects the chaos and destruction of a city overrun. A man realizes the danger, recalling a previous encounter outside. He plans to secure the building's entrance. The stairwell is blood-soaked and empty. Blood stains the stairwell as a terrified man escapes his apartment. He senses danger upstairs, his back to the viewer, fear etched on his face. A hand silently unlocks a reinforced door. A zombie is brutally murdered. Another man escapes. A bloody man stumbles, desperate to escape. He collapses, leaving behind a trail of blood. A hand unlocks a metal door. The tension is rising. A man stands on bloody steps. He looks terrified. A dark staircase. An uneasy silence hangs in the air. A wounded man hides, hoping for rescue. A man watches breaking news reports of unexplained violence on TV. The news anchor reports random killings in the metropolitan area. A dark apartment. The TV is off. Something's wrong. He's injured, scared. The news broadcast is dead. A shattered window reveals a grim zombie-infested outside. Someone sleeps soundly, oblivious to the approaching horror. A wounded man lies awake in bed, haunted by something. He's restless, a sense of dread washing over him. A man lies defeated in a desolate urban landscape. Close-up shows a man's determined eyes fighting for survival. A man sleeps soundly, unaware of the impending doom. His messy room reflects the chaos about to erupt outside. Night falls on a quiet, seemingly empty city street. Zombies swarm a wrecked ambulance, a scene of chaos and carnage. Blood splatters mark a doorway. Someone's been fighting for their life. A terrified young man hides, injured and watching from a crack in the door. Zombies attack survivors in a bloody alleyway. A gruesome scene of carnage and discarded bottles. Blood stains and a discarded slipper mark a deadly scene. A terrified survivor peeks from behind a door, eyes wide with fear. Blood stains the ground outside a building, hinting at a gruesome struggle. A hand unlocks a door, bracing for whatever's inside. A terrified young man sits inside, knowing escape is impossible. A dark, ominous hallway silence screams danger. Stockpiling ramen and rice, gotta survive the zombie apocalypse. He checks his supplies, hoping it's enough to last. A man worries about surviving a month based on his emergency food supply. He checks his phone, the network is down, and he can't reach anyone. A man checks his phone, realizing the building is infested with zombies. A terrified college student with injuries stares in fear. A couple walks down the street, unaware of someone watching them from the shadows. A rooftop view shows a possible hiding place. The suspense builds. He cautiously climbs the stairs, sandals silent. He checks the door, searching for survivors, hope dwindling. A man cautiously climbs a stairwell, his face shadowed with worry. He descends the stairs, looking anxious and wounded. The rooftop door is mysteriously open. A man cautiously exits a rooftop building. Injured teen hesitates, debating whether to call for help. A room's interior door is ajar, revealing slippers on the floor. Injured man emerges from a doorway, looking terrified. A room is in chaos. Blood stains the floor. A fight just ended. Injured man looks distressed, possibly searching for someone. Close-up on his eye reveals confusion and shock. Blood stains a deserted apartment, day 2 of the apocalypse. A survivor watches a bloody scene, a turning point in his life. He's realized something terrifying. He cautiously exits the building. A potted plant sits innocently on a balcony, unaware of the impending doom. The plant is smashed, revealing a zombie hand bursting from the soil. Injured man screams in terror. He flees from something unseen. He's taking a casual step, but danger is about to strike. A brutal attack sends him sprawling to the ground, screaming in pain. He's injured, terrified, and cornered. A blood-soaked zombie lunges. He's trapped. The zombie attacks. He's fast, but our guy's ready. Brutal takedown. One less zombie to worry about. A bloody zombie crawls across a rooftop, desperately trying to reach its prey. A man is thrown backwards, seemingly by a powerful, unseen force. He just tossed a zombie off the roof. He's terrified, but he's still alive. Terrorized eyes witness a horrifying event. A man collapses, blood stains the ground. A hand slams a button, initiating a desperate action. A man, exhausted, climbs the stairs, gasping for air. He's trying to escape, but the door is locked. He's down, cornered, and terrified. Injured man struggles to breathe, blood stains his back. He crawls weakly, desperate for escape. A young man, shocked and wounded, worries about someone on a rooftop. The man stares in disbelief, questioning if he just killed someone. A man kneels, overcome with guilt and despair. He insists he's not to blame. Someone attacked him first. It's 4:55 a.m., the clock says, and something's coming. A quiet room, but the tension is thick. He sits alone, the quiet before the storm. Guilt consumes him as the apocalypse begins. He's questioning if he accidentally killed his friend. Bare feet approach a closed door. Blood splatters mark a brutal struggle inside. A lone survivor watches a zombie shamble through a carnage-filled alley. A zombie stumbles through a blood-soaked alley. The undead shuffles past a corpse. A man stands in a blood-stained alleyway, looking defeated. Close up on a terrified young man with cuts on his face. Rooftop Young is alive but badly injured and bleeding profusely. A bloody, groaning zombie stumbles toward a terrified onlooker. A young man stands alone, guilt etched on his face. Double doors burst open, revealing a horde of zombies. Infected zombie bursts from a building, blood splatters. Day 3 of the apocalypse, a quiet, sunlit street. A simple meal of stew and kimchi is prepared. A man eats alone, worried about the gas supply being cut off. A man waits anxiously in a basement, worried about food supplies and rescue. He considers going to the rooftop, possibly to signal for help by starting a fire. Eyes widen, fear and determination clash. He's going out tomorrow into the zombie-infested city. A young man sits on stairs, looking defeated. He's brutally attacked by someone. The attacker is now covered in blood. The young man lies dead. A man sits calmly eating a meal in a cluttered room. Injured man looks confused and worried. Incoming call from mom, but is this a trap? A man frantically calls for his mother amidst a messy apartment. He receives a panicked phone call, learning his family is trapped at home. A man desperately calls for help. Zombies are approaching his neighborhood. He receives a terrifying message. His mom is in danger. Internet's down again, but mom's safe. Incoming messages flood his phone. Air raid alert. Police forces mobilized as chaos erupts. A man checks his phone, worried. Only a few contacts reached out. Injured but determined, he stares down the chaos. A tense encounter in the city streets. She's got news. A woman's worried eyes widen, realizing something terrifying. A casual scene interrupted friends drinking and snacking, foreshadowing danger. A group of guys hangs out, drinking and chatting, completely oblivious to the impending zombie apocalypse. A guy smirks, plotting to flirt with a girl, unconcerned about the danger brewing outside. Urgent message received. A tear rolls down a worried face. Doubt and disbelief as a man prepares to let someone in. A woman stands defiantly in the doorway. A man nervously watches from behind. Close up on the woman's worried face, hinting at the danger ahead. A group of unsuspecting people are lured into a deadly trap. A woman's feet are shown, foreshadowing impending doom. A man abandons his friend in a zombie-infested apartment. The man is irritated by the smell and state of his invaded home. A man hides in a barricaded bathroom, clearly terrified. A man worries about someone's safety amidst the zombie virus outbreak. A man sits alone, injured and exhausted, in a grimy bathroom. Close up on his wide, fearful eyes behind glasses. A man sits on a toilet, confused. He thinks he heard someone calling him from outside. Desperate plea for help behind a closed door. A terrified young man watches, his fate uncertain. Hyena. A frantic search begins inside a ransacked apartment. Jung Min-jun, a barricade of cardboard boxes and tape lies shattered on the floor. She hears something inside but isn't sure what it is. A terrifying growl confirms her worst fears. Zombies chase survivors through a city street. Bodies litter the ground. A woman fights back against two zombies using a weapon. A fist slams down. Desperate call for help. A woman screams, urgently pleading for a response. He's escaping something terrifying, dragging a mysterious package. Urgent warning, get inside now. He washes his hands, oblivious to the danger approaching from behind. Zombies swarm the doorway, desperate for flesh. She's breathing heavily, sweat dripping. He finds her injured and alone in her apartment. A woman lies on the floor, seemingly injured. A man rushes to her aid, concern etched on his face. A hand reaches into his shirt, revealing something shocking. A woman collapses in a man's arms, gasping for air. A woman checks a man's chest for injuries. A man in glasses looks shocked. A woman is clinging to him. A man is injured. A woman cradles him. Fear grips them both. He's hurt. She's desperate. The apartment is suddenly a death trap. Injured man collapses. Woman cradles him, worried. Woman checks his wound. A pained cry escapes. A woman expresses gratitude to a man. The man looks relieved and slightly embarrassed. A man finds relief after a close call. A woman sits beside him. The woman looks worried. A man and woman face each other in a messy apartment, tension rising. A man nervously explains his mother's absence, revealing a military evacuation. A woman stares intensely, her expression unreadable. A man and woman have a tense conversation, the woman looking worried. A woman's worried eyes reveal intense concern. Desperate for water, she begs for help while showing a near-empty bowl of food. Time is running out. Desperate escape, little water left. A woman drinks water, seemingly exhausted but unharmed. A man watches her, questioning her excessive water consumption. A woman drinks water while a man worries about rationing. The man contemplates the woman's sacrifice to reach safety. A woman nervously asks a man if he came from his home. The man, injured and confused, questions why she's at his place. A man with bandages on his face looks shocked. A woman stares intensely, remembering a past encounter. A young woman walks through a city street at night, seemingly unaware of the impending chaos. Screams erupt as the woman's peaceful stroll turns into a terrifying nightmare. Civilians panic and flee as a zombie outbreak erupts in the city streets. A woman collapses, gasping for breath, hiding in a stairwell. A woman wakes alone, injured while a man arrives, shocked by her ordeal. A dimly lit staircase leads to an unknown, possibly dangerous location. Trapped, forced to hide in a small meeting room to escape the horde. Desperate survival. A single water bottle is all that stands between life and death. Starving and desperate, she risks a run home, hoping for help. Zombies attack. She's trapped between them and the stairs. A woman looks terrified. A single tear rolls down her cheek. She cautiously enters a dark alleyway. Blood stains the ground. A young woman cautiously observes a debris-strewn alleyway. She witnesses a chaotic scene. Overturned vehicles and zombies attacking a firefighter. She sprints through a debris-strewn street, dodging unseen dangers. A woman remembers a location, plotting a route through a familiar alley. A man walks away, seemingly oblivious to the danger ahead. A woman narrowly avoids two shambling, zombie-like figures. Two survivors catch their breath after a narrow escape, finding solace in each other's company. A woman exhales, relief washing over her face after a stressful ordeal. A woman, sweaty and distressed, asks about running water. Close-up reveals sweat stains under her arms. He's terrified, injured, and hiding. She offers him clothes. He's drenched in sweat. A woman looks terrified, realizing something is horribly wrong. A man is brutally attacked. He's clearly outmatched. A woman walks into a bathroom, ignoring a surprised man. A man with bandages on his face looks relieved. A man sits in shock, surrounded by chaos. A quiet apartment hallway, tension hangs heavy in the air. Alone, trapped inside, he waits. He questions his next move, conflicted. Limited supplies mean a desperate choice: stay and starve or risk the zombie horde. He's facing a grim reality, total hopelessness in the apocalypse. A man stares blankly at his apartment, clearly stressed. A student walks down a school hallway, oblivious to impending doom. A girl ignores a guy in a school hallway. The girl remembers the guy treating her coldly. A woman suddenly appears in a doorway, startling a man. She asks to borrow some clothes. A man frantically searches for clothes, clearly in a hurry. A woman hands a man a shirt, looking distressed and possibly injured. A man smells something bad and hesitates to share his smelly clothes. A woman wipes sweat nervously, clearly distressed. A man and woman react to a terrible smell in a cluttered room. The man explains his sensitivity to smells, while the woman looks unimpressed. Two people stand in a doorway, one seemingly unconcerned while the other leaves. A dark, ominous alleyway suggests impending danger. Clothes dry on a rack, the calm before the storm. A half-eaten meal. Someone's interrupted. Trapped inside, survivors contemplate their next move. A desperate escape plan is suggested, met with disbelief. A woman argues with a man, refusing to leave their apartment despite the obvious danger. The man, injured and weary, grimly accepts their situation and prepares to wait. Fear grips her as the reality of starvation sets in. A desperate couple faces an uncertain future. A man considers risky rooftop access for supplies, fearing infected areas. A woman looks terrified at the prospect of venturing outside for food. A woman desperately tries to convince a man to leave their apartment, a zombie apocalypse raging outside. The woman recounts a terrifying near-death experience with the undead, urging the man to flee. Injured man nervously assesses the situation, clearly afraid. A woman reacts with fear and concern, acknowledging the zombie threat. A man witnesses a zombie attack from his window, looking grim and resigned. The man shows apathy, seemingly accepting a possible zombie infection. A woman stands defiantly. A man sits resigned in a tense apartment scene. The woman declares her will to survive. The man looks on with apprehension. A survivor reflects on avoiding contact with the infected. Zombies shamble and stumble through the streets, some appearing more aggressive than others. A woman realizes the zombies are slow, planning to evade them. A man and a woman strategize, comparing zombie pursuit to a game of tag. A man tries to downplay the zombie threat, calling it a game of tag. A woman is terrified, rejecting the man's casual attitude towards the danger. A woman's feet and legs are shown, implying rest or exhaustion amidst chaos. A woman lies down to sleep, clearly tired after a long ordeal. A man, injured and scared, looks uncertain. An empty bed. The tension is palpable. A tense standoff as a woman demands a man sleep elsewhere. She aggressively directs him to a different sleeping area. A man with injuries asks a woman sleeping outside his bathroom to move. The woman reluctantly agrees to leave. A man and a woman share a room, a tense moment of unexpected closeness. The man runs away, seemingly scared of something. A man insists he'll sleep in the kitchen, despite a possible intruder. A man lies injured in bed, seemingly asleep. A wounded man accepts his fate, alone and resigned to death. He finds unexpected company, but his relief is tinged with annoyance. Zombies are trapped behind barricaded boxes. A single candle flickers in the dark, a terrifying silence. A woman wakes up to horrifying zombie moans. Terror grips her as she hears more groaning nearby. Injured man lies in bed, barely conscious, as someone calls out to him. Close-up reveals the man's wounded face. His expression is one of confusion and pain. A woman sleeps soundly, unaware of the horror outside. She's alone, lost in a nightmare of longing. He feels trapped in his apartment, fear and determination in his eyes. Two survivors cautiously navigate a rooftop, escaping the undead. A zombie attacks. Blood splatters as a survivor fights back inside a building. A woman in a prison uniform sleeps soundly. A man looks down at her, questioning her long sleep. A woman sleeps soundly, despite claiming fear. It's 3:55 a.m. The quiet before the storm. A young woman sits on her bed, seemingly oblivious to the impending doom. She looks over her shoulder, a hint of worry in her eyes. He's leaving, but she wants to know where he's going. He's heading back to the rooftop, injured and worried. A woman panics, while a man assures her he can handle any remaining infected upstairs. He invites her to leave with him, but she refuses, terrified. He's going alone, leaving someone behind. A man descends the stairs, alone and distraught. He cautiously approaches a shattered door. He notices a crack in the glass. Blood stains the stairs as a lone figure cautiously descends into a zombie-infested city. A tense standoff. A man confronts a woman in a dimly lit, barricaded apartment. A woman cries, furious at someone's 3-hour lateness. A man nervously asks about his father's hospital job, worried. A woman's eyes widen in fear. She forces a nervous laugh, trying to stay brave. A deserted Korean street, bathed in sunlight, hints at the calm before the storm. A lone runner flees a blood-splattered alley, the sound of pursuing zombies echoing. A deserted Korean city street, eerily silent except for a couple of buses. 2 survivors, exhausted and near a damaged bus, face an uncertain future. Woman screams, urging man to flee. Man contemplates fighting back against bullies. He pulls a knife, ready to fight to the death. A mysterious man smiles, his identity unknown. A man nervously tries to reassure a woman while holding a baseball bat. The woman looks worried and apprehensive. A man is surrounded by 2 people, one wielding a weapon, as they try to get him on a motorcycle. The man turns, seemingly unaware of the danger closing in. A shattered monitor screen foreshadows imminent danger. Someone cautiously climbs a staircase, their flip-flops making little noise. He smells something bad and is investigating. A woman with a bad feeling walks down the stairs with a man. Injured teen looks terrified. Rooftop escape route. Zombies incoming? He discovers a bloody mess in the bathroom. Terror grips him as he witnesses the aftermath. Blood covers the floor. A woman lies still. A man stands in a blood-soaked kitchen, grief etched on his face. He cautiously enters the building, tension building. A woman reveals a horrifying truth. Someone is already dead inside. A young man, injured and hesitant, decides against entering a building. A young woman cries, clearly distressed and vulnerable. 2 survivors on a rooftop plan a signal fire to attract a rescue helicopter. A woman and a man scan nearby buildings for other survivors, calling out cautiously. 2 survivors huddle in a deserted apartment, the silence heavy with tension. A man and woman joke nervously in an empty room, ignoring the looming threat. A man plays zombie video games, oblivious to the real-world apocalypse starting outside. A woman calmly talks about plans as the zombie outbreak unfolds around them. A man reflects on his loneliness amidst the zombie outbreak. He's still alone, despite the chaos. He's alone with his crush, but it's a zombie apocalypse. A flashback shows them together before the outbreak. A man ignores a woman's calls amidst the chaos of a seemingly apocalyptic setting. The man is startled, then apologizes for zoning out as the woman scolds him. Cardboard boxes barricade a basement window. A woman reads a photo album showing happier times. A woman relaxes at home, unaware of the growing danger outside. A chilling question interrupts her peaceful moment. He's washing bloody clothes, and he's starving. He's furious and wants to escape alone. A man angrily washes clothes by hand, muttering about his chores. A single candle burns dimly, illuminating a dwindling water supply. A dark, empty kitchen hides a deadly secret. He's leaving, but she's worried 30 minutes could be a lifetime. A man waits impatiently as a woman slowly packs supplies. A shattered door reveals bloody handprints. He spotted something terrifying through the broken glass. He cautiously checks a damaged door in a deserted alley. A young man observes the city, seemingly preparing for something. 2 infected figures on a rooftop, ready to attack. A man runs, pursued by a zombie in a deserted street. A zombie lunges, its attack emphasized by a sound effect. A lone survivor walks through a bloodstained city, daytime. A man's worried face, close up. Escape route secured. Abandoned construction site. Zombie hideout. A bloody baseball bat smashes through a door. Yenna turns, bat in hand, ready for action. He knew this was coming. Intruders crash a pre-existing shelter. Someone's getting a tap on the shoulder. Trouble's brewing. Park Seong-bin is approached. He looks wary. Zombies shamble towards a man crouching in an alleyway. A man plays a first-person shooter video game on his computer. Gunfire erupts as a man shoots a zombie in a dimly lit room. A young man with glasses looks concerned, possibly witnessing something unsettling. A man in glasses stares intensely, foreshadowing disaster. A sunny Korean city skyline. Peace before the storm. Broken glass and blood mark a desperate escape. A woman sits alone, bored, amidst the chaos of a ruined apartment. The clock shows the time is ticking away. Image 2. A woman waits impatiently, worried. A woman hides amongst boxes, hearing a helicopter overhead. She sits alone, hopeless. The sound of a helicopter, a cruel reminder. A helicopter flies overhead. Hope arrives. Desperate cries for help amidst a rooftop fire. A quiet city street, the calm before the storm. The clock shows 4:55. Time is running out. A woman hides in a barricaded room, fear etched on her face. She anxiously awaits someone's return, worry overwhelming her. 3 women huddle together, terrified, as someone's absence causes mounting anxiety. A woman furiously vents her frustration and worry about a man's reckless behavior. A seemingly peaceful Korean city at sunset, but the calm before the storm. A woman sits alone, fear etched on her face, clearly in danger. A woman desperately pleads for someone named Jung Min-jun. A single candle burns as night falls, foreshadowing danger. A terrified woman hides alone in a dark room, candlelight her only hope. Desperate and alone, she begs for someone to return. A woman wakes up, confused and startled. A man bursts in, frantic and warning someone. He's shocked. Something's wrong. A woman is hitting a man. He's trying to stop her. A man explains to a woman why he's late, showing her a leaflet dropped by a helicopter. The woman reacts with shock and disbelief to the leaflet's contents. A man delivers shocking news to a woman in a dimly lit apartment. An evacuation order for Gangbuk is issued, their current location. A man and woman react in shock to news of a citywide lockdown. They examine the map showing varying infection rates across districts. A woman looks worried as a man warns of impending danger. A couple frantically plans their escape from a dangerous location. A man contemplates a dangerous situation in Gangbuk, questioning the lockdown strategy. A woman with glasses analyzes the grim reality. Escape from northern Seoul is impossible. He's facing a desperate choice: cross the Han River. They need to reach the eastern area, a risky route. A man and woman discuss a safer route, possibly avoiding a high infection zone. A woman looks worried, clearly facing a dangerous situation. A man packs supplies while a woman watches, surprised by his resourcefulness. A man with glasses urges immediate escape. A man and woman huddle indoors, debating escape from the zombie horde outside. A woman begs for a few more days, hoping for rescue from the apocalypse. Trapped in a basement, he warns others to leave before sunrise or face the zombies. A woman looks on, terrified and uncertain of what to do next. A woman hides her face in horror as a man reacts with disbelief. A woman considers packing supplies for an escape. A seemingly peaceful Korean city, but the sun sets on the eve of chaos. Frantic barricade construction they're trapping themselves in or keeping something out. A young woman and man prepare to leave their apartment, tension hanging in the air. He hesitates, facing away, a sense of dread. Urgent question: will she go to her dad's hospital during the zombie outbreak? Shocked reaction: he just heard his mom and dad escape the zombie horde. He's going in, eyes locked on the target. A zombie lurks in a blood-soaked alleyway. She's running, he gives a thumbs up. Things are about to get messy. Zombies swarm a wrecked ambulance in a blood-soaked alleyway. Two people run for their lives down a city street, pursued by unseen horrors. A bloody glove lies on the ground, a grim reminder of the carnage. A blood-splattered bus ad shows a woman's face, a birthday message, and shattered windows. A man and woman cautiously walk down a street past a damaged bus. Two survivors walk down a sunny street, wary of unseen danger. They continue walking, discussing transportation options closer to their destination. A man notes the lack of available electric scooters amidst a zombie outbreak. An exhausted woman requests a short break from their frantic escape. A man and woman walk down a city street. Tension hangs heavy in the air. A smashed bus sits abandoned. The threat of the undead is palpable. A seemingly peaceful Korean city skyline hides a brutal zombie outbreak. Two survivors walk, their destination uncertain, but the threat is real. Two survivors navigate a debris-filled street, pursued by unseen danger. A thirsty survivor complains while another urges him to conserve water. A barricade blocks the street, filled with discarded furniture and debris. Two people survey a massive roadblock, clearly overwhelmed by the scale of it. A man and woman cautiously discuss a blocked-off neighborhood, hoping for safety. A street barricade suggests survivors are nearby, prompting investigation. Two survivors cautiously search a deserted truck, alert and wary. Exhausted survivor suggests a building for temporary shelter, ignoring a warning. A woman receives an urgent message. Her expression is skeptical. A woman witnesses a chaotic scene. Her face shows disbelief and anger. Tense standoff between a woman and a young man in a post-apocalyptic street. A woman cries, overwhelmed by a terrible situation. A young man stares ahead, ready for whatever comes next. A woman's tearful face whispers a desperate apology. A close-up reveals wide, shocked eyes. A woman apologizes amidst a zombie horde. Terror, someone's behind them. Zombies attack. A bloody escape. A desperate grip. A silent promise in the face of the undead. Running for their lives, pursued by a horde of bloodthirsty zombies. Zombies attack the couple, fleeing down a city street. A woman screams, realizing their supposed safe haven is overrun. A survivor is spotted hiding in a doorway, but danger lurks. He frantically tries to escape, gasping out a grateful thanks. Two men barricade a door while a woman watches, tense. A woman looks shocked and worried, shouting a name. Someone quickly moves a shelf, preparing for an ambush. A bloody zombie attacks unexpectedly. A desperate struggle ensues. A zombie bites a terrified victim. A bystander screams in horror and pleads for help. Zombie attacks, man falls, bloody mess. Barriers breached, people fleeing, chaos erupts. Two people sprint through a back alley, pursued by zombies. A man boosts a woman onto a makeshift barrier, escaping a pursuing zombie. Desperate escape, they have to jump. Hard landing, she screams. A woman sprains her ankle, and a man rushes to help. A man in glasses screams in terror. Two bloody zombies chase terrified survivors through a city street. A witness stares in horror, eyes wide with fear. She scolds a scared survivor, calling them pathetic for not fighting back. A woman's face shows fear and vulnerability amidst the zombie apocalypse. A man flees, a woman watches. He fights back, protecting a woman from a zombie. A hidden blade is drawn, preparing for a desperate fight. A woman's worried face shows fear amidst the chaos. He runs, a heavy bag on his back, pursued. A man stands over a wounded woman, knife in hand, defiant. A red motorbike speeds through the streets. Zombies chase a fleeing man. Someone yells, "Get down." He's running, terrified. Something's chasing him. Brutal takedown. A swift, bloody strike ends the threat. Headshot. A zombie falls, but more are attacking. A woman uses a small, sharp object to attack a man. Another man watches. A man, bike riding and swinging a bat, just made a brutal impact. He's surprised to find a woman, also armed with a bat, blocking his path. A woman is found alone, tears streaming amidst a zombie apocalypse. A man realizes his terrible predicament he's surrounded. A young man with a baseball bat faces a tense situation, avoiding someone more dangerous than zombies. A group confronts another, tension rising in the zombie-infested city streets. A man holds a small knife, clearly unprepared for a zombie fight. A man with a baseball bat stands defiantly amidst the chaos. A woman cries, thanking two people who saved her life. Two survivors invite the rescued woman to a safe house with other survivors. Gangbooks under attack and a group hides, debating escape. A woman and two men cram onto a motorbike, fleeing the danger. He sees something terrifying. A woman looks on, uncertain. A woman and two men discuss strategy, one man holding a baseball bat. The group debates abandoning a man to save themselves. A woman sweats nervously as a mocking voice wishes her luck. A man silently agrees to take another victim. He refuses to go, opting to face the zombie apocalypse alone. Determined, he declares his intention to handle everything himself. A woman cries, fear etched on her face. A man threatens a woman with a baseball bat. He's got a bat, a grim look, and he's ready to kill. This guy's watching, maybe planning his next move. A lone man is threatened by a gang wielding a baseball bat. A woman is shocked as her gang prepares to attack. A man threatens another, suggesting a plan involving a woman. Two men discuss a woman's attractiveness based on her online photos. A man sneers, plotting something sinister. A sweating man nervously looks down a city street. Tense standoff. A man with a baseball bat argues with a woman on a scooter. A man joins a woman and the first man on the scooter, ready to go. A young man, grim-faced, holds a bloody baseball bat. He looks determined, acknowledging the deadly danger around him. A wrecked car, splattered with blood, sits on a city street. A group enters a dark, narrow underpass, looking uncertain. A woman points out a security lapse while men ignore her. A woman suggests escaping, but a man's confused. A guy senses danger. His friend tries to reassure him. A woman warns her friend about a dangerous guy, offering protection. Two young survivors cautiously navigate a deserted city street, tension high. A young man sweats, his worried expression revealing mounting pressure. She's trapped, terrified, and facing an unknown horror. Park Seong-bin walks away, bat in hand, leaving danger behind. A tense standoff in a dark hallway. A woman stands calmly surrounded by nervous men. The woman reveals crucial information about a shelter, causing shock and urgency. A man stares intensely, his expression grim. A tense standoff in a dark alley. A group confronts another. A woman's determined face shows urgency as she prepares for action. A tense standoff unfolds as a group confronts a woman armed with a baseball bat. Tense standoff. He refuses to cooperate. Suspicious glances. He's hiding something. A woman's terrified face registers shock and fear. A clenched fist shows determination as a woman prepares to fight. A group cautiously approaches a dark hallway, hoping to talk. A woman's worried face shows the growing danger of nightfall. He walks into the alley, bat in hand, following a woman. He continues alone, his back turned, heading towards the construction site. He's found a barricade, but the zombies are still out there. Makeshift defenses are up, but they look flimsy. Two survivors nervously watch something unseen, tension thick in the air. A woman subtly points, hinting at an unseen threat. A terrified face whispers, "Don't worry." He promises, "I won't leave your side." She's terrified, sweat dripping, the apocalypse is real. A zombie attack. She screams, he's shocked. Zombies attack. Woman witnesses horrifying scene. A group hides, nervously assessing a weak barricade. Surrounded. Zombies swarm a group fighting for survival. Escape route. A man climbs a ladder to safety. He's scouting the streets looking for a way out. The city's a death trap. He's flanked, escorted by two others, but is he safe? Survivors arrive at a makeshift shelter, tension high. A large man reacts with surprise to new arrivals. School survivors encounter a dangerous-looking group. A powerful man introduces himself, clearly interested in Hanyena. A woman looks distressed, hearing disturbing news. A man reassures a woman in a seemingly safe location, but she's worried about impending danger. Survivors huddle in a makeshift camp, roads blocked, rescue unlikely. Inside the camp, they've set up a surprisingly comfortable cooking and eating area. Fuel, wood, and tools getting ready for a fight. Debris blocks the path. The escape route is compromised. He's shocked by the scale of the zombie outbreak. Two men discuss their unsuccessful search for supplies. She laughs, then realizes the horrifying truth. Betrayal. She's surrounded and knows she's been tricked. Two figures stand on a rooftop overlooking a city in ruins, tension rising. A woman's face shows fear and disgust as she reflects on a grim situation. A young man makes a difficult decision, choosing to leave the dangerous location. He turns back, another person following close behind, heading into unknown danger. Two figures grasp hands, preparing for a dangerous escape. A woman looks back in shock, witnessing something terrifying. He's furious, she's about to run. She's crying, he's holding her. A desperate struggle for survival, one hand grips another with fierce determination. A tense standoff, a man pleads for release as two others watch, uneasy. He senses danger. Min-jun is confronted, looking terrified. A tense standoff, one man threatens another, knife implied. The threatened man screams defiance, urging his attacker to act. Three men react with shock and disbelief to something unseen. A group discusses sleeping arrangements, seemingly unconcerned about a potential problem. A man refuses to give up a kitchen knife. A man with glasses is threatened for carrying a dangerous item. One man, one knife, 5 zombies. This is going to be a bloodbath. A couple stumbles upon a horde of zombies. Panic sets in. Cozy campsite. A brief respite from the undead horde. A woman's desperate plea. A dangerous man closes in. A man nervously asks if he can eat something. A man excitedly suggests a pork belly party. He's terrified. A lawless city overrun with danger. A creepy guy harasses a girl while others watch, ignoring the clear danger. A concerned young man witnesses the harassment and worries for the girl's safety. He needs a plan to escape. Zombies surround a potential escape route. 3 survivors huddle together, suspicion etched on their faces. A young man plots a nighttime escape, his expression grim. A lone survivor navigates a zombie-infested urban wasteland. Delicious-looking Korean BBQ is cooking, a stark contrast to the surrounding chaos. A group of men eats while one threatens to eat the next little pig like a pig. Crispy pork belly is delivered to a group of older men. A man offers a pathetically small portion of food, clearly unhappy. Another man offers a much larger, more generous share of food. 3 survivors huddle in fear, waiting. A man offers meager food, desperation in his eyes. A man sweats, clearly terrified, but manages a grateful nod. A dark, deserted city street leads to a shadowy underpass at night. Burning bodies fuel the desperate fight for survival. 2 survivors huddle together, exhausted and afraid. A woman cries, fear etched on her face. She refuses a group's invitation, choosing isolation. She's terrified, planning a nighttime escape. A man confronts another, accusing him of deception. One man tells another to stop. The second man is confused. He's furious, warning someone to back off. A man screams, calling another crazy. A tattooed man is confronted by 2 others, one of whom looks angry. A man smiles menacingly, saying he plans to kill his companion. He's taking over, and he's not afraid to show it. Angry attack? He's going in for the kill. A tattooed man punches through a door with brutal force. He's choking a large man, saying, "Just die, you worthless pig." Shock and disbelief as a man witnesses something unbelievable. Brutal, bloody, hand-to-hand combat ensues. Brutal brawl erupts. Baseball bat connects. Terrified onlookers witness the bloody chaos. Eyes widen, a desperate look of determination. A woman cries. A man sees an opportunity. He's cornered, eyes wide with terror. A desperate chase ensues. A fiery barrel explodes in the background. She's grabbed, screaming, fighting back. He's terrified, looking over his shoulder. Hanyena. A man holds a woman hostage with a knife, threatening to kill her. The man screams, warning the woman not to move. A woman screams in agony as something bites her arm. A zombie lunges at a terrified man. He's furious, knife raised, about to attack a terrified woman. A brutal stab, a desperate struggle for survival. A woman holds a man down while another stabs him. A man's face contorts in rage and pain. A brutal kick sends a zombie flying. A man fights back against a zombie attack. A bloody knife lies on the floor. Blood splatters mark a brutal struggle. A woman is terrified, covering her mouth in shock. A man clutches his bleeding chest in agony. Surrounded, a man is kicked to the ground in a dark, blood-splattered alley. A swift, brutal attack with a long, sharp weapon sends the attacker flying. A brutal fight breaks out. Someone's getting beaten down hard. A desperate struggle. One hand grips another with intense force. A creepy guy boasts about pursuing a girl since middle school. He aggressively questions her reasons for rejecting him. A cocky survivor taunts a scared woman amidst a fiery, zombie-infested backdrop. The woman's face shows fear and vulnerability as she's confronted. A creepy grin reveals a sinister plan. A man confronts a young man, tension rising. A powerful kick sends a zombie flying. Someone is brutally wrapping a zombie in a cloth. He's running for his life, a zombie hot on his heels. Terror in her eyes as the undead approach. Another victim falls in the apocalyptic city. Zombies close in as a survivor begs for help. A man is thrown to the floor, causing shocked reactions from two others. One man orders another to protect the other two. A man screams in rage, ordering everyone thrown from the upper floor. A woman cradles a bleeding man, desperately pleading for his survival. A woman looks terrified, trapped. A man smiles menacingly, holding someone captive. A man screams in terror as he's attacked from behind. Jung Min-jun stands over a bloody victim, his expression cold and resolute. A man is brutally beaten, blood on the floor. Another man taunts him. Two men struggle to throw a third unconscious man into a dark space. A man grabs a zombie's shirt, ready to take it down. A man looks up, surprised and slightly apprehensive. One man is knocked out. Another clutches him, ready to finish him off. A man stands over a bleeding victim, declaring their impending death. A man is brutally beaten, blood staining the ground. Two men struggle to carry a heavy, unconscious body. A hand rips through fabric. The countdown's at 3. He's shocked, disbelief etched across his face. He sees something terrifying. Kim Sung-jan's fallen, and Jung Min-jun reacts. Two men are on the ground, screaming for help, clearly injured. One man groans in pain, clutching his lower back. A man discovers his leg is broken. Jung Min-jun is found injured on a rooftop. A leg is grabbed. Something's wrong. Jung Min-jun is on the ground. Someone's asking where he's going. Leg broken, screams of pain and anger. Desperate plea for help as a zombie attacks. Two men are trapped, terrified and desperately trying to escape a zombie. A woman witnesses a horrifying event, her face showing pure fear. A woman sprints through a dark, cluttered space, pursued by unseen figures. A man runs, panicked, through a street as something chases him. She's escaping across a rooftop, zombies hot on her heels. A desperate jump for survival, no time to lose. A man confronts a woman amidst urban debris, demanding she stop. The man's enraged face shows fury as he curses the woman. She's ignoring a warning about zombies while casually stepping over a pile of junk. She's walking towards a rooftop solar panel array. Zombies are implied nearby. She's terrified, but she's not giving up. She's running fast. She's running, leaping across rooftops under a starlit sky, escaping the undead horde. She lands silently, ready to fight or flee. Fear grips her as she narrowly escapes. Cornered, she faces a taunting, aggressive man. He's fast, he's deadly, and he's coming for you. A desperate escape through a dark, cluttered space. He's shocked. Something's wrong. He's falling. A man is brutally attacked, his screams echoing through the dark. A woman watches from above, seizing her opportunity. A terrified woman screams for help, hands covering her mouth. Two zombies, blood-covered and hungry, rise from the shadows. A man urgently directs others to safety. A man falls, screaming as others shout for help. A man prepares to attack a screaming woman on a rooftop. A man's face shows terror and confusion. Two zombies chase a man down a dark corridor. A woman looks down at fallen zombies and a man. A woman screams, desperate, demanding to know where someone is. She pleads, her hands clasped together in silent prayer. A terrified man screams for help as zombies close in. A woman signals a man to safety, relieved he survived. A desperate plea for help as someone clings to alleged zombies nearby. A hand grips a rusty pipe. A slow, tense climb for survival. He's escaping across rooftops, injured but determined. She's desperate, barely holding on, pleading for help. Someone's desperately trying to pull another person to safety. A woman watches a groaning man collapse on the ground. Close call. He barely escaped the zombies, but he's injured and dizzy. A frantic search. They're looking for Park Seong-bin amidst the chaos. A man is threatened by a woman, urging him to stay put. They're on a rooftop at night. The man tells the woman to escape alone. Man collapses, woman looks concerned. Woman checks on injured man in dimly lit hallway. A woman desperately drags an injured man through a dark, zombie-infested alley. They reach a seemingly safe, dead end, catching their breath before moving on. A quiet, starlit night in the city. Two people hide, fearing nearby infected. Exhausted survivor, sweat dripping, barely holding on. Woman screams, urging a man to run and hide, fearing infection. A woman cries, determined to save someone. A person cautiously checks an alleyway, seemingly zombie-free. Night falls on a deserted street, tension rising. A wounded man is helped by a woman through a dark alley. Terror grips her face as she witnesses the horror unfolding. A dark alley, littered with debris, offers little hope of escape. A dark, claustrophobic hallway reveals a single, flickering light. A woman hides in the shadows, watching something down a dimly lit corridor. A woman feels alone and vulnerable, tears in her eyes. Two people huddle together, exhausted, seeking refuge in a dark, cluttered space. A man lies wounded on the ground, barely conscious. A woman watches over him, desperate and pleading. He's down, but is he out? She's terrified, and rightfully so. A woman realizes her mistake. She blames herself for her friend's predicament at a construction site. Guilt and regret weigh heavy as she contemplates the consequences. Desperate plea, hands clutching fabric, signifying intense distress. Terror grips her as she witnesses something horrifying. She frantically searches for a weapon, fear fueling her actions. Deserted hallway, puddle of unknown liquid, abandoned backpack. Woman cradles unconscious man, surrounded by boxes. Danger is imminent. A dark puddle of blood stains the ground. A soldier finds a terrified woman hiding amongst boxes. A woman cries, shocked by a horrifying realization. A man sprints, chasing someone hiding in an alleyway. He's back, the man who saved them before. Reunited survivors, but danger still lurks. A man lies bleeding profusely on the floor, seriously injured. A woman cries over a wounded man. Others look on anxiously. Desperate pleas for help as someone bleeds out. A woman assures others she's okay after a close call. She's silenced, desperate, and in danger. A zombie celebrates a lucky capture. A nail-studded board is used to subdue a strong opponent. A man intervenes, ordering a halt to the brutal attack. A lone man faces three armed figures. He's given 3 seconds to escape. The group decides to kill the lone man. He's cornered, armed with a bat, facing a relentless undead horde. A spiked bat lies discarded, the brutal aftermath of a desperate fight. A hidden blade emerges, ready to strike. He's taking down a zombie with brutal efficiency. He's down, multiple stab wounds. She's trapped, and they're not friendly. A man threatens a terrified woman with an axe. A man holds a small knife, ready to fight. A woman is attacked from behind. A struggle ensues. She's shocked and injured, realizing the attacker's true nature. A young man stares shocked as the undead apocalypse begins. Medical supplies are laid out, preparing for the gruesome injuries to come. He's sleeping, recovering from a non-lethal wound. He needs a full day's rest to recover from internal bleeding. A woman's incredible first aid skills are questioned during a zombie outbreak. A man demands an explanation for her presence in a perilous zone. Two survivors discuss a capture in an abandoned building by Park Seong-bin's group. A woman recounts escaping a zombie horde, witnessing chaos and Park Seong-bin's escape. Close up on a man's eyes, he might still be alive. A man checks his pocket. Yong Shin-dong is not safe. Barricade lines crumble as the zombie horde surges. A terrified young woman stares in disbelief at the chaos. A man nervously reads a note in a dimly lit room. A woman sits on a couch, looking terrified. A tense question hangs in the air as a man is confronted. He stares down, a mystery shrouded in his silence. A woman announces a dangerous plan. Her friend is shocked. Urgent news about a northern closure spreads, tension rising. A man looks grim as the situation gets worse. Zombies attack from behind shipping containers. A massive horde of zombies floods a bridge, blocking traffic and escape routes. Zombies overrun Han River Park, forcing survivors to flee south. A woman reveals horrifying details about a zombie outbreak, showing photographic evidence. The listener is stunned into disbelief, tears welling in her eyes. A small oil lamp offers a flicker of hope amidst the zombie apocalypse. Two survivors discuss the uncertain safety of Gangnam amid widespread infection. He's determined to reach his sister, trapped in a shelter amidst the zombie outbreak. Separated during the chaos, he's desperate to find her. Day 1, post-outbreak, chaos. Army promises evacuation south, leaving some behind. Civilians are being evacuated. Soldiers separate families amidst the chaos. A man watches, desperate and worried about his sister's safety. A soldier's determined face, heading to the Gangnam shelter. A man sits alone, waiting. The army never came back. A woman cries, revealing a devastating loss. Chaos erupts. A bloody escape attempt fails. A man delivers devastating news in a dimly lit office. A woman reacts with shock and grief. He waits tense, his knuckles white. He packs his bag, escape is imminent. Desperate survivors beg for a ride to Gangnam, but it's too dangerous. He refuses, explaining the risks are too high with more people. Exhausted survivor needs sleep, but the situation is desperate. His mother's trapped in Gangnam, they have to reach her somehow. Desperate woman prays for escape from the zombie horde. Man stares intensely, bracing for the next attack. A woman prays, tears in her eyes, showing the trauma she's endured. A man observes a changed woman, recalling her past. A man with a backpack leaves a dimly lit room. A woman sits on the floor, looking down, seemingly grateful. A lone figure watches the zombie-infested streets from a motel room window. Two survivors sleep soundly in a makeshift shelter, unaware of the danger outside. Han Yena wakes up, groaning in pain. A man questions Han Yena about a missing person at a construction site. He's going to check something out. A woman rests while a man plans to retrieve a motorbike. A woman warns of a deadly, zombie-infested barricade. A man ignores the warning, a grim determination on his face. A survivor, armed with a spike bat, prepares for a 300-meter zombie sprint. A woman's face shows fear and a single tear. She's clearly terrified. Two figures stealthily cross a river, evading patrols in a zombie-infested city. A woman's face shows grief and exhaustion after a long, perilous journey. A man leaves, baseball bat spiked and ready, promising to return soon. A woman waits anxiously, wrapped in a blanket in a quiet office. A quiet, seemingly normal city street hides a terrifying secret. He's hiding, but for how long before the undead find him? He's checking for something, low to the ground, cautious. He's looking for something, turning, focusing intently. He's armed with a spike bat, ready for anything. Quiet, tense. Something's about to happen. He's asleep, unaware of the chaos to come. She wakes up confused and concerned. Man wakes up confused in a strange room. A woman explains a classmate saved him. A man is injured and confused, remembering a fall from a construction site. Two hands clasped together, showing relief and a moment of human connection. A woman clutches her hands, fear etched on her face as she expresses worry. A man's eyes widen in shock and terror. A woman clutches her chest. A man looks on, worried. She grabs his head. A violent struggle begins. A woman is upset that a man risked his life to save her. The man is relieved she's okay and doesn't want an apology. A woman is told the rest that looks unconvinced. A man argues they don't have time to rest due to a northern closure. Injured man groans in pain as a woman rushes to his aid. A woman yells at an injured man to stay still. A desk drawer opens, revealing makeshift weapons and survival supplies. A man and woman huddle together, listening intently, near an exit sign. A woman confronts a man in bed, surprised by his identity. A backpack lies on the floor. Something's unexpected. A man retrieves his backpack from a shadowy location. He explains the backpack contains essential supplies. He scavenges emergency food, remembering his mom. He finds a pair of glasses, a crucial discovery. A grateful man receives his glasses, finding relief in a tense situation. A man is told he's been healed and is slightly dizzy, but otherwise okay. A woman anxiously asks about someone's fate at a construction site. A man grimly confirms something terrible. He's alone, searching, disappointment etched on his face. A gruesome scene, zombies everywhere. A desperate struggle for survival. A woman looks distraught. Her motorbike is gone. A man's grim determination. Survival at any cost. A man plans his escape north. He asks two others to follow him. Urgent escape attempt interrupted by a disagreement. He insists on leaving immediately, despite injury. A man plans, carefully marking a map. He reveals an alternate route across the river, surprising others. A map shows escape routes through Gangbuk, the Han River, Gangnam, and Songpa. He's shocked, realizing the underground river tunnel is a possibility. Subway's a death trap, but the tunnel might be clear. Reaching the tunnel's risky, but they're gonna try anyway. A clock shows the time, highlighting the urgency of escape from a zombie-infested area. A desperate dash through a narrow, ominous alleyway under a blood-red sky. Survival rules. Don't take unnecessary risks. A man reads his survival rules, starting with the first one. Briefing. North route closed. Survivors advised to regroup and avoid rushing. 2 survivors rest. Instructions given to limit exploration teams to 1 or 2 people. A man's grim face hints at the horrors to come. Survival rules are explained, emphasizing self-preservation. A man makes a grim decision to prioritize his own survival. Another man's face reflects the harsh realities of the zombie apocalypse. A young man sweats, terrified, hearing a crucial warning. A quiet kitchen, sunlight streams in, the calm before the storm. A man confronts a nervous young man amidst the chaos. A baseball bat studded with nails is offered as a weapon. A nail-studded bat, a shocked woman, and a guy looking uneasy. Things are about to get messy. This isn't just for zombies. That spike bat is for anyone who looks dangerous. The infected will attack to kill, counterattack with everything. A strong blow to the heart or head will do the trick. Time to move? Let's go. A quiet, sunny street, the calm before the storm. 3 survivors navigate a wrecked city, facing an unknown threat. 1 survivor questions the morality of killing the infected. Graffiti marks a ravaged city, a chilling reminder of the lost. Blood stains a door, a moral dilemma etched in red. A man worries about legal consequences after using a spike bat to kill zombies. Jung Min-jun is called out. A man is sternly told to forget his doubts and focus. He's warned that this is a fight for survival, demanding a hardened heart. A woman in a hoodie nervously acknowledges a man leaving. The man hesitates, unsure about leaving the woman alone. Survivors debate a dangerous route, knowing many infected lurk nearby. A man questions a woman's knowledge of the zombie threat. A woman smells a strong, sickening stench, indicating nearby zombies. A man looks worried, possibly about the zombie threat. A group cautiously moves through a debris-strewn street, armed and alert. A man realizes he can sense nearby zombies, but not with perfect accuracy. A man and woman exchange worried glances amidst a zombie outbreak. He's hiding, backpack loaded, the city silent, but the danger is real. Fear etched on his face, he knows this is just the beginning. Zombie swarm survivors, desperate struggle for survival in a blood-soaked alley. A man's terrified eye focuses, remembering Hanyena. A woman senses danger. A man questions her ability to detect infected. He confirms her warning. Going that way means certain death. Two men spot something dangerous on a rooftop. A soldier, possibly infected, is seen on a rooftop. Confused man with backpack looks around. Man urgently leads two others to safety. A trashed apartment, empty bottles, and gas canisters litter the floor. A man and woman cautiously ascend a staircase, tension high. He scans the horizon, searching for a way out. 3 infected soldiers are spotted on a rooftop. A wounded soldier, rifle in hand, collapses behind a fence. A terrified man begs his companion to leave a weapon behind. Soldiers on a rooftop, surrounded by infected, face a desperate situation. A young man confidently declares his firearm expertise. A group assesses the situation. A weapon is needed,